Hey guys, welcome back to the Chinaman Cricket Podcast. We're back after 11 days since the last video at the time of recording, which is pretty good by our standards. But today, it was just a few days out before the IPL. We wanted to just do a quick preview on each of the teams, the ins and outs of the batting, bowling, fielding, the team makeup, the new rules. So there's two new rules that have come in place this IPL. So the first rule is that teams can be named after the toss. And the second rule is an X Factor player can be brought on at any point in the game, which is very interesting and very different to any IPL done or any other tournament done in cricket previously. So let's get started.
Well,
Should
you
we
want to
start?
talk about those rules for a sec?
Okay, so
Because
let's just start. Yeah,
if you think about it, they both changed T20 cricket a lot. Um, I think the toss rule, for example, like right now we might not think much of it, but winning the toss, batting second is such a big factor nowadays. I feel like
yeah.
do aside, like it just feels like there's more pressure to bowl at the end. So then that could alter the combinations of teams, and then and as we said with the sub rule, man, that's so different. Like you can just fully utilize a player, as in like they can bowl their full overs, sub them off. I wonder if you can sub a batter on for someone if they've gotten out, because then that would be interesting. Like
Ooh,
like if someone just gets out golden duck, or you just sub them off.
I don't think so.
That wouldn't make sense, right? Yeah.
No, no, no way.
So it have to be someone who's not out. Yeah. So if someone is not out, in theory, it shouldn't be allowed for someone who's bowled four overs. I reckon maybe three, but that just sounds wrong as well.
Well, that's what they was. I thought that's what they were saying. So, say if someone bowls four overs at the top, and can they get switched out, and the next person can bowl four overs as well, the person that replaced them, because
Well,
that just wouldn't be fair, right?
if that's allowed, then I think you should be allowed to come on for someone who's gotten out.
That got out, yeah. I don't know. That's a
Yeah. Well,
technicality.
anyway, yeah. So as we were saying before, I think this makes the second innings of games very interesting because if you need some runs at the end, you just put an extra batter on or extra fast bowler if you're lacking something like that. And I think
Yeah,
it'll help the good teams more than the bad teams. So I don't think it levels the playing field as much as it seems. It's like because if you have a good player, you'd start. That's the thing.
well, not only that, I think it's mainly squad depth as well. If you really think about it, teams are now going to go in to games with, say, 2 to 3 starting 11s, or starting 12s basically, because you might as well use the sub player every single game to maximize your result at halftime.
You mean
So I
two to
think
three plus, right?
so.
You mean like 2 to 3 subs, not 2 to 3 starting 11s. But yeah, yeah.
No, no, no. You'd
Oh,
go
like
into a
different
game.
team kind of team sheets. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go
I
into the
get it.
game with
Like
different
you have
team
different
sheets. Yeah,
games that yeah. All right, that makes
because
sense.
like let's say you go in with a team that's good at chasing and the team that's you know
Yeah.
gonna set, and then you'd have subs that are suited for both those scenarios. So I think it's more squad depth rather than how good your initial squad is, I guess. But I guess if your initial squad, if your core squad is good, then you don't need to use the subs anyway because the best players are gonna win you the games.
I think from a team franchise point of view, it makes it really good for using your internationals. That's where you spend the money, and then you can kind of you could see 5 players a game, and then you could kind of judge who your best ones are. So for
Yeah.
teams that it's not obvious, so off the top maybe like Shakib or something like that, you don't know if he's going to start. You can kind of work him in the games and then go from there.
Yeah, it's gonna really help the all-rounders realistically. They're gonna all gonna get a lot more game time, generally, you'd imagine.
Yeah, but I also kind of think it could be the end of all rounders like that are not that good, like kind of a bits and pieces player number 7. You might just sub him on for a proper batter or a proper bowler, and
Oh,
just
true, yeah.
like
Yeah, true.
you take him out of their weaker role. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Oh, yeah.
Parag. Let's say you're not confident about his bowling. If he's batting that low, then you just put a bowler on for him in the second innings.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think we'll go through each team. Other huge thing before we start is this is a proper home and away in India season, which is adds a lot of different complexities to the league. We'll go through one by one when they're like talking about their stadiums, but it's almost like we're gone back to 2019, back to our year 12 IPL. But yeah,
Well, we're actually going to see spin-friendly tracks
yeah,
and 130, 140 scores, which is absolutely huge.
yeah. Because even last year, like most of the games were in Mumbai, which was pretty quick, flat
Like, they're
work.
just roads. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really going to test the team's strength, and it's back to IPL at its best, I'd say as well. A few kind of dead years of UAE, and then yeah, now we're back. All right, should we go
Yeah.
alphabetical?
Oh,
Or
yeah. What team do you have up first?
is it? I think Chennai first. Yeah, Chennai first.
Yeah.
All right, so
Ooh,
we're just gonna go through the teams together. You want to share your screen?
yeah. 1 second.
Is there a way you can share the squad, like copy paste the squad as well, just so we can like with the
Oh,
viewers
yeah.
can see?
Yeah, I can do that.
Maybe if you like, yeah, like those images I just sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Shout out to Majid for those images that we are using.
alrighty.
So also we're kind of going to allude to, because we've used a bit of Pasha Burglay's insights for this. I just wanted to say, Chennai, this is like literally just Dhoni's made this so he has to be as less impactful as possible. Like he doesn't have to do much in this team. He can pretty much play whatever role he wants, and there's enough to cover all the other bases.
Yeah. 100% agree. He's a specialist keeper.
Yeah, specialist captain keeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So let's. Is this your? Would you agree with this team?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So looking at Gaikwad, he's made a lot of domestic runs. Um, and then Conway, who he's getting better, and I think considering his age is on the like he's pretty new to the highest level of international cricket, but he's gelled in really well. Good three and format player. What do you think of Stokes and Moeen Ali? And also what do you think the combination and the order would be for those two?
Oh, it's interesting because I think Moeen Ali is a bit more versatile at the moment, given I don't know how much, say, T20 cricket Stokes has played, and I don't think his international record speaks a lot.
It
So I
doesn't.
think, yeah. So I think realistically, Stokes is going to bat at 3, and then Moeen Ali is going to probably float a little bit and play like a Maxwell sort of role.
Yeah, I've always thought that Stokes should be like a number 3 player in T20s. I can't remember in the World Cup where he was. I think he was around 3, wasn't he?
Or
But
4, yeah, 3 or
because they
4.
always had David Milan, but I always felt like Stokes is just like a better version of Milan.
Oh yeah,
He can anchor, and he's got that power game, and he just has the ability to soak in pressure, and that's going to be very important in the slow Chennai wickets. Like if someone needs to just take the game all the way, that's going to be Ben Stokes. I think that they will go with an extra batter because we have those 2 Indian bowlers at the end, but I think they might go Rayudu as well
yeah.
at number 4, maybe 4 or 5, depending when
I think
Moeen.
it has to be 4 because Ryder is
Yeah.
just too slow.
Yeah, Radu, he has more freedom with this deep lineup to just go for it a bit more. You feel like when most of these batters are just a 20 off 13 type of innings is fine because you keep batting and one of them will hold it together, which is probably Stokes.
Yeah, realistically, the top 3 are the big ones. So if you look at Gaikwad, Conway, and Stokes, they're all capable of scoring big runs in T20.
Yeah.
So I think as a team, they look very strong. The bowling's interesting though,
Yeah, I
for
mean,
sure.
the other thing is
Because I think Dubé and Jadeja and Dhoni speak for themselves. They're going to play every single game. They're going to bat in those positions.
well, Dubé kind of also has the freedom to be like a slogger for sure.
Yeah.
Jadeja, they could always float him depending on when you want him to enter to hit spin or hit pace. And yeah, Dhoni, who knows with Dhoni, man? I feel like it's so hard to analyze Dhoni nowadays. You have no idea what you're gonna get. Like no idea if this is the last season or not. Do you know what do you think of Tikshana, the mystery?
He's okay. He's okay. I mean, I'd say he's still relatively untested on the global stage. So this tournament will
Yeah,
definitely showcase how good he really is. But I like just from initial outlook, he doesn't look crazy good.
I think he's solid.
He's solid. That's what I'd say.
He's in Chennai as well for the first time. So that could be good for them. Looking at the other spinner options, obviously Moeen's gonna have to bowl a lot. I don't really know too much else about the Indian spinners, for example. And then they could be tempted to play a Santner here and there for for Stokes or Ali. The concern for them is 100% their fast bowling because Deepak Chahar is probably going to bowl up front, and then from there, I feel like it's a bit weak.
Yeah, especially at the back end. I think if Stokes is fit, he will 100% bowl to death. But I think Chowdhury is very similar to Chahar, isn't he? He's an upfront swing bowler.
Yeah, I think in that video I saw his economy at the death was like 12 last year. So,
Yeah.
but
So
the
I
other
don't
thing
know.
is Chowdhury actually might miss the opening few games. He's injured.
Yeah. I don't know who this other guy is, Simajit.
Yeah, I don't know
Because
much about him.
because apparently, so just looking at Harsh's video, because that's the other sort of main source that we have at this point. He had Dhoni at 8 and he didn't have Samajit in there. So which is very interesting.
Yeah,
So so I
well,
think they might just have to play to their strengths and just stack it with spin and then hope and then just
well, actually, Simon he did not play the domestic comp, so that's the Mushtaq Ali Trophy. He did not play that. So these team sheets are a bit like they're just after the auction. So maybe he's not an option. The one player I have heard of, actually two, is that the all rounder that's sorry, I can't read. Hunger Gaker. He's like a big, broad shouldered, like slogs it a bit, kind of number 8 all rounder type. And then I think Deshpande has played a few games here and there.
but Deshpande got whacked from memory. I don't think it was great.
They have that Sri Lankan quick, Mathisa Patharana. I think he's just a raw pace, quick bowler. But it just seems a little bit hard, even though Dhoni has covered the bases, but I think the bench strength is a bit weak with this one. Because Rahane is realistically their next sub, and he's not much in this format nowadays.
Yeah, I think because CSK are back playing at Chennai, it's gonna be a turning track, isn't it? It's gonna jag and like rag everywhere. So
Yeah, but they are so good in those conditions.
yeah, but just imagine like, you're gonna bowl at least 12 to 15 overs probably of spin.
But who is not really though? Because right now we've only got Tikshana, Jadeja,
Mine,
Moeen.
that's
Yeah,
12 overs at
maybe they'll
least, and
probably
then they can probably sub on like Santner.
yeah.
On
Jadeja's gonna 100% bowl his full quotas, and
yeah,
Moeen. They've got 3 different spinners there realistically as well.
and they can always just bring one of the Indian spinners back like on
Yeah,
as well.
they've,
So
they've,
that I think
sorry, you go.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, while they're going to play a lot of games at home in Chennai where it's going to be a turning wicket. Yes, I do agree that their fast bowling is weak, but is Dubé good realistically? Like, could he bowl a few overs, or is he a bowler
He's
that's not
100% just a
tested?
batter who bowls part. He's like a part-time option, realistically. Like, if you can
Yeah,
offer 2 overs, that's huge. But he's not going to be more reliable than a Stokes, for example.
yeah, okay.
They got Kyle Jameson there, but with all the internationals, I don't think any of them are purely like for like. If you look at Pretorius, who's bowling, is a bowling all rounder. Santner is a finger spinner all rounder, probably a bit better batter. Not a bit, but he's definitely a better batter than Deekshana, but he's not like for like. Jamison's not like for like, and then Patharana's a quick. So
Yeah.
if Moeen gets injured or something like that, or Conway, it's not looking too great.
I think Pretorius can bowl at the death. I think out of all the internationals, Moeen Ali is probably the likely one to go for
Yeah.
him. I think, yeah.
And then the other question is whether Stokes might leave early, because I think England might have the Ashes at the back of their mind.
Yeah,
So
it's hard to say.
if we kind of do like rough positioning as we go, what would you say right now, looking at this team on a scale like 1 to 10, if we have the teams in order?
I'd say they're very strong generally. I'd say they're very, and then at home, then I don't think they'll lose at home. So I don't know.
I,
I'd say like in terms of strength, it's a 7 or 8. So
well, I meant 1 to 10 as in like where would you?
okay. Uh, probably mid-table.
Yeah, I was thinking like fifth for now.
Yeah, yeah, mid-table.
Um, like if all their players, I feel like this applies to most of the teams. Like if the players fire, it's good, but it's like they're kind of papering over cracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep them fifth for now. Yeah, fast bowling is an issue. Death bowling is an issue. Obviously, they've had Dwayne Bravo for all these years. This is their first time without him in a very long time. And they also had Chris Jordan last year, who's not there. And then the players they brought in were 1 sec. Oh, it's not coming up. 1 second. They brought Rahane in this year. They tried to get Sam Curran. They really wanted that extra all-rounder who they ended up getting as Stokes, but it hasn't. I feel like the IPL hasn't seen the best of Stokes yet. And yeah, a
There
few of
was
the
a
other
a
Indians.
year in 2017, right, where you opened for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Super Giants. Yeah.
And then the other big one, yeah, is was Kyle Jameson, who isn't even a guaranteed starter. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's Chennai.
Yeah.
Move on.
All right. So
So
next,
DC.
yeah, Delhi. So Delhi's, I think, one of the, I'd say a lot of people like that. I feel like I don't know what I'm going with this, but it's my second favorite team. I think they're a very likable team in general, and they haven't won a title, but they always seem the last few years have been pretty strong, except last year itself. And they got a good team, but there's obviously a big hole in the middle. What do you think of Delhi?
The Rishabh Pant hole is the biggest hole I've ever seen in a cricket team.
Yeah,
If you deep it,
like
they have
it's even bigger than the.
no
Sorry.
backup wicket keeper. He's the captain, and he's probably one of the best, if not the best, in that position, especially in IPL.
Yeah, it's a bigger
Batting
miss
wise, so
than an
it's like,
Indian team, and that's saying something.
yeah.
Like I hope he's still in the dressing room. I'm not sure if the plan is there, because just he seems like the type of guy that's pretty big for morale. Yeah, you had a bang on. No, They don't have a good number 4 backup. They don't have a good keeper backup. They do have a good captain backup in the form of David Warner. So if we look at this team sheet that we got here, I reckon he's not on here, but I know he's there. I think they'll end up using Sarfraz Khan as a wicketkeeper.
Yeah, he's there. Yep.
Oh, he's there. I can see.
Yep.
Yeah, so Sarfraz will keep. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about him in the red ball format where he's made so many runs, but he's been okay in the IPL, but he's going to have a lot more responsibility this time. I don't think he's kept for a little while, and he's one of the main major Indian batters now on this team.
Yep. Well, Well, there was a stint in Kings 11, right, where he played, and I don't think he was terrible then, but obviously his game has moved towards red ball, so it depends on whether he can go back and find that white ball game.
Well, it's funny because he kind of hit the Indian scene as a T20 player, because
Yeah.
he always played these ramps and stuff like that. He's only 25 and he's been around for a long time. I don't know if you remember, but in 2018, so when the teams reset, he was one of RCB's retentions. It was him, De Villiers, and Maxwell. I mean, and Kohli, sorry. So he's always had the media on him, the attention on him. And yeah, last year he played 6 games. And 2019 he played 8 games. So he hasn't had a lot of matches, but he's been around. I think we mentioned this before, but that top 3 is so good on paper.
But probably, I wouldn't say best, but opening pair is probably the strongest in the league.
Yeah. Though I don't know, I'm kind of torn with Warner. I feel like he's in my eyes, he's become. I think he might be like that 50 or 40 type batter.
Who, Warner?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's still got it within him, but he's gonna score on, I think.
I
The
know
captain's-
you're a big Warner fan. So.
I'm a big Warner fan, so. But it's hard to say. In IPL, it's a different beast, though. You can't ever write Warner off in IPL. He's just probably the best ever. Okay, that's being very controversial. But
Probably best ever opener. Maybe
yeah,
Scale,
top,
yeah.
yeah, top 3 best IPL players of all time, or 4, or 5. That's 5 easily. That could challenge Warner, but still, I don't know. As a top 3, and Marsh as well. Marsh probably in the form of his life, probably the best number 3 going around right now.
If Marsh just needs to stay fit somehow, I don't think he's gone a season without getting injured.
Yeah.
And then Shaw's one of many Indian batters where it's IPL comes around, it's his time to show why he should be playing for India, why he can be playing for India. And I think he's right now, I'd say he's this dodgy kind of idea, but I think he's kind of too strike rate focused at the moment. If he can generate that 25 180 into 35 160, I think that's fine. Because the runs are a little bit weak on him, but the intent is just brilliant, and it's what the modern player is.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think he's a perfect complement to Warner, to be honest, because if you think of the dynamic between Warner, let's say Warner and Finch, Finch was always a slow starter and Warner would go, but Warner was never especially nowadays, naturally going quick. Well, I think if Shaw just goes, Warner can
the
take
modern
his
Warner.
time, get in. The modern Warner, yeah. Can take his time, get himself in, and then really build, which I think he'll take on the role as captain. And I think even if they lose Shaw early, Marsh will go as well. Marsh will just follow Shaw, and then Warner will just stay and try and anchor the innings.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last year this was one of the best combinations. I can't check the actual stat, but they were both good. And I was gonna say this is kind of reminiscent of Warner Bairstow as well, which is probably one of the best opening duos in the IPL in recent years.
Yep.
From there it gets well, it's still good enough, but who do you think would bat at 4? Because
Well,
I slightly differ from this, I think.
it's an interesting one. Well, I think it really depends on they're likely to go with Safraz as the keeper, but obviously Phil Salt's the other one. And I think if Phil Salt plays, Salt is likely to go to 3 and Martin's going to go to 4. I reckon. Even though, or maybe not. No, Salt probably has to go 4. And then Powell will probably have to be replaced by Hyundai or Duel, let's say. So logically, if we think Sarfraz is going to start, which I think he will, then number 4 will be Pandey or Duel. And I think just off domestic stats alone and what Duel did in the domestic season, he's probably going to start.
Yeah, so Duel was the top run scorer in that.
Yeah. So I think he looks, apart
No,
from the fact
striker
he's
was
very
only
slow.
130.
Yeah. But I think that's fine. If he's a proven run scorer, they'll back him. And he's very young, obviously. So he can just,
Yeah, I believe he was the captain, right?
yeah, he was.
And he's captain Delhi in domestics as well. But I think for me, yeah, they could play duel, but I think Riley Rousseau is better than Rovman Powell. I think he's kind of in the I would say like the form of his career. He's had a really good late resurgence, but he feels like that play either gets 0 or like 100. That's literally Rousseau nowadays. Um, but then it's kind of clogged a little bit because do you reckon is he a proper number 6? Is Yash Dul, is that too much pressure on him to have him as a 5-6? I don't know.
Josh Duel cannot play 5-6.
Yeah. And then
I
Rousseau,
think,
is he too low at 5? So that's why you could argue Rovman Powell, he's just gonna come in and tonk. He's one of like unlimited amount of West Indies all rounders like that in this league. Literally
yeah,
every team has their own Powell-esque player. I believe Powell was very good last year.
yeah. I think, yeah, he was very good.
His strike rate, yeah. He only
I
got
think
to 150, but yeah,
that's fine.
he only faced 150 balls, so 160 balls, so it did well. And then they have that kind of bits and pieces all around Lalit Yadav. I feel like he's never really been that good.
Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I think this will be a talking point when we talk about all the teams, but the makeup of the team when we go to the spinning tracks, because I think Lalit Yadav 100% has a part to play, but whether he's going to play the whole tournament, it's hard to see.
Yeah, when you look at that top 6, no one bowls except for Powell. So that's like Mitchell
Oh,
Marchant probably won't bowl.
yeah. Well, I think this is a team that will 100%. You could just see already that this team
Yeah,
is made for super subs, like the X Factor.
100%. Yeah, but especially because they got looking at this like template team, they've got 3 Indian quicks who are decent enough IPL
Yeah,
on the bench.
yeah,
Yeah, the 2 spinners, Axel Patel, his batting is just getting so good nowadays. I think
yeah.
him at 7 is not even a worry anymore.
I think there's a chance that worst comes to worst, he'll bat at 6. Lalit Yadav will come at 7 on the spinning tracks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
And then probably Duel or that Duel / Pandey spot will get removed.
yeah. And I really like Kuldeep Yadav. I think he's finding his rhythm again. He had a very low 3-4 years. Now he's back, and I think once he knows he's in the Indian team, and I think that'll help him a lot, just confidence wise in the IPL. And then Nokia is brilliant, and even if he's missing, you got Ngidi who's just as good. And then on the slower tracks, you can be tempted to play Mustafiza with all his cutters and variations.
Yep.
What do you think of those that Indian pace kind of combination? If you do, No much.
I don't know about Mukesh Kumar, but I know their bench. The bench is very strong. Like Koti Sharma and Sukuria was very good last year from memory. Sekaria. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. But yeah, very strong
Yeah.
Indian contingent on the bench. So no
I don't
matter
know
if
much
Kumar's
about
good or
Mukesh,
not.
but I believe he went for a decent amount.
So if you went for a decent
It was
amount, then
like
you'll probably start, right?
550 lakh,
Okay, that's
which
a
is
fair bit.
that's a
And I
lot.
think
That's five. Like then, considering as that, he's got to start. Which we have. I think he's a swing bowler because he's been in and around the Indian Test squad as well, like India A,
yeah,
and then Zakaria, yeah, one of those kind of skiddy left armers.
I
Ishant is more
can.
of a new ball bowler, and Nagakoti is kind of raw pace.
I think if we just skip what we're thinking, the team all in all, I think is very very strong. I think even if Rishabh Pant isn't there, it still looks very very good on paper.
But like, what went wrong for them last year? Like, I don't really remember. I feel like these seasons go by and you don't really think about it after. But they weren't good last year. They only just missed out, but it just felt like they never had that consistency.
I think it's like the power in the middle and then the bowling
Yeah,
because they had who did they have last year bowling wise? Avish Khan and then Nokia,
that was
right?
the year before the.
Okay, I
You're
can't
thinking of
remember.
22, 2021. They're different now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, Avish played for um Carol Hall's team. Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah, they've lost. No one of a huge ones. They lost Chaos Barrett, Mandeep Singh, and Tim Seifert. So I think
yeah.
Seifert did play for a few games for them because because there was a little bit when Marsh was injured. So Marsh actually, yeah, Marsh didn't really get into the flow of it last year. I think he barely played. He played 8 games, so we didn't get to truly see that
I think there's
combination.
also talks about Khalil not being able to be on the park the whole time, which is very
Yeah, seeing
iffy.
there's some Indian bowling curse going around. Everyone's getting injured. Well,
Yeah, but
it's
just looking at their bench, like Ishan Sharma could easily come on and play that role because I know Khalil can bowl to death, but at least Ishan Sharma can give you 3 overs at the start
yeah.
if it's swinging as well. So that's fine. And he's going to take a lot of wickets. Nokia, I think Nokia's he's sweating on fitness as well, isn't he? And he gets whacked a bit. So Nokia's like he either takes a lot of poles or he gets whacked.
Well, if Punt was there, you could say they could play in Ngidi and Nokia, like they used to play Nokia and Rabada like before, but
Yeah, but
they can't. Obviously, they can't. But yeah,
yeah.
I think we probably should quicken up a little bit because we've got 10 teams. Where do you place? Or for now, where would you put them?
I'd say just above Chennai.
Yeah, I'm happy at fourth. I think
Yeah.
we might even end up coming back because actually, I think there's like a few good teams. But yeah, keep them there for now.
Yeah, let's whiz through the teams.
Yeah. I mean, I think we have a lot to say, but yeah, there's a lot of teams. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is the champions, Gujarat Titans.
Ooh, okay, interesting. I remember everyone was writing them off last year.
Yeah, did you see Gujarat? Looking at that team, is it a surprise to you or enough quality that it made sense?
Oh, definite surprise. And there's no way that I thought they'd win.
Yeah, fair enough. Looking at they've gotten rid of 4 players, notably Jason Roy. I don't even know if did he play. I swear he didn't play.
No, he didn't play.
Dominic Drake's another West Indies guy. I don't know much about. And then I'll just check their biggest buys. Yeah, they traded Lockie Ferguson to KKR.
But Shiva Mavi, wasn't it?
Yeah, which is interesting. And then they brought in Kane Williamson. They brought in Kane Williamson, Odin Smith, and a few other Indian players here and there,
Test Barrett.
and notably,
Yep.
yeah, all like decent players. Interesting for them because, yeah. So that's the team. What do you think of that top three?
Weak on paper, very weak on paper compared to the other teams. But having said that, I mean, Gill is his record in white ball cricket in particular is very, very strong. Hard to write him off. Probably in the form of his very short career.
Yeah, he's finally clicking. I'd say.
Yeah. But if you look at them as a combination, I mean, so what Saha's likely to take the game on and Gill's just going to play his natural game, right? But no, his natural game is attacking, but you can easily say that they could easily be down 2 wickets in the power play most
Yeah.
games.
You could
And
argue
then,
those two are very prone to getting out early, and they're just going to play their shots. Like they know.
yeah, yeah. It's probably the weakest top three in the competition, I'd say.
I think my 11 would be a bit different because I'd say you have to play Williamson or Wade in that number opener or 3 spot, and
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I know where you're going. But I think in general, even if you include Williamson or Wade, still probably
yeah
bottom 2, top 3 in the league.
yeah because Wade, for example, I don't think he's ever really clicked in the IPL, and then Williamson, I feel like Williamson is too much of a low risk player to have. Like
He's
I,
going to be really good on the like 135,
yeah,
140
like
tracks.
literally what Harsha said. Like I feel like they're trying to
Yeah.
account for the diversity of pitches, but
Yeah.
just for me, yeah, it's just, in 2023, Williamson, Root, they're not Smith, even Coley, arguably. Yeah, they're just not that player.
Yeah. I think what made the difference for them last year was Hardik Pandya was just a different beast. And then Miller and Tawatia, like that middle order just
Yeah,
carried their whole tournament.
every year I'm like, yeah, Tuatia, he's not that good, and he just hits like sixes at
Some
the end.
absolute
Yeah,
bombs. Yeah.
like I'm pretty sure he won a 12 of 2 against Punjab now. I remember, which is always
Yeah. The
um,
classic for John.
yeah, classic Tuatia versus Punjab.
Okay. Very strong.
That's
So I
the
think
hitting. The hitting is mad. Like Tawatia, I mean, so David Miller had like this mad streak of just finishing games last in 2022, and then I think my combination would be a little different, as we said. So I think they might go with Sai Kishore, who's like can bat a bit, but because I think Rashid at 7 is a bit too weak.
yeah, I think especially because they were so reliant on those middle three, like Panya, Miller, and Tawatia, that
In saying that, like it's not batting depth, but Mavi, and Joseph can swing. They can slog pretty like on their day they can hit.
Joe's
Rashid,
just a good player,
like
yeah.
Rashid, Mafi, Josie, they're not Mavi, they're not going to be consistent, but you never know, they might randomly get like a 20 of 8 or something like that. And even like Shami, he has a clean swing every once a year.
Yeah.
Um, looking at that bench, there are a few names that we'd know. What do you think of their backup overseas players?
Odin Smith, very good hitter. I could definitely see him coming on as a. So, but even then, their middle, like Panya, Miller, Tawatia, is so strong that
You can kind of
I
strengthen.
don't even see them they're gonna play. That I feel like this is a team that wouldn't use their bench that much because their bench isn't crazy.
It's not crazy, but it's like decent. Like Vijay Shankar, it's okay, kind of like a
Like
anchor.
it's a very mid,
Jayant Yadav is like a typical Indian finger spinner.
very mid
Yeah.
bench. I'd say.
Yeah. Noor Ahmed, I don't know much about him. He has played the Big Bash. I remember he played for the Renegades. He's like a Afghan spinner.
I didn't think he was that good.
And I think Bharat for Saha might just be like a rotation thing. Like when one fails, they'll go to the other.
I think that also plays with Wade as well.
Yeah, with Wade and Williamson.
I think it'd be like Wade / Williamson, and I think there's a possibility that, or I mean, we haven't gone to the bowlers, but Josh Little and we'll probably swap out for an Indian quick.
Well, Josh Little's actually had a really good like career, and he's been playing all around the world in these leagues. Like we haven't seen him play much, but I think he's highly rated amongst the T20 circuit now.
Okay, but having said that, I think Yash DL played and Sangwon. I remember them playing. Like they were not bad.
Yeah, I remember DR.
Yeah.
I mean, they're winning. They've won a title. Like they've still got that
Yeah.
same squad.
So I don't know. There's a lot to.
Yeah, DR played 9 games, but he went at 9 and over, but he
Yeah.
got 11 wickets. So
The
still
thing is,
cool.
like in my head, I'm saying this is a 4th, 5th, or 6th team, but they won last year. Like on paper.
Is it without trying to think of the other teams? I don't want to put them. Can we maybe move Chennai down? I don't know. Like,
Chennai to no,
do you think
Would
they're better
you-
than Chennai or not?
they're about the same as Chennai. I'd put them 6th.
Yeah, I had them 6 for now. Like, them being big hitters actually like this team seems prone for collapse. Like I could see them being like 5-30 in one game. Okay.
Oh, easy, yeah.
And then like, yeah. They just have that. You can tell that a little bit about them. That's when they're gonna have like someone Williamson for his like 25 off 30.
Like, do you reckon there'll be a game where there'll be 3, there'll be like 3 down in the power play, and then just bring in Williamson
But
for
they
like
could
a
actually
4.
do it. They bring on Williamson for like Josh Little, and then man, there's gonna be some funny moments for these subs.
That'd be that'd be G. And then he scores like a runnable 20 on die.
Yeah, like low key in that situation, you'd sub on Odin Smith just so he can hit. Like it actually doesn't make, you know what I mean?
Well, would you sub on another hitter? That
It's
doesn't make
tough.
sense though.
I feel like it kind of does because then you can just if you know you're gonna lose anyway. Like that Williamson innings might not be that useful, but I don't know.
Yeah, but imagine if it's a difficult track though.
Yeah, it's tough. Because Williamson,
when 135 is a good score. You know
like we
what I mean?
laugh, but Williamson can accelerate and he's still good.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it's class.
Yeah, he's like he hit
It's
at the
fucking
end
Kane
against Sri
Williamson,
Lanka. That Sri Lanka test.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on. We'll keep them there for now.
Okay. Who's off to Gujarat? Oh my god, there's so many teams, bro.
Yeah. This might be a long video. We might have to split it in half. I don't know. Do you still have the 1 hour call limit?
No. Don't think so.
All right.
KR?
I think. Yeah. KKR.
Oh, this is a
I think they're
juicy
one of the
one.
weaker teams.
This is a juicy one. No Shreyas Iyer is
For me, they're
arguably
100% one of the weaker teams. What do you?
100%. We'll go into it, but yeah. This team looks oh dear. Because Shreyas Iyer was the glue that held it together.
Yeah, I mean, straight away, their overseas players are just so volatile, I feel. Like Russell and Narayan have been their core for a little while, but
Shakib is very good.
yeah, but I just don't know how Shakib will play in the like maybe play at number 3, but then yeah, starting off So who would come in for Shreyas, you'd say? And who's captain? Oh, Nitish Rana has been announced
This is
captain.
Rana's captain. Yeah.
Nitish Rana, I feel like he's he's a good IPL player. Like he's always been a decent player, but he's not like good enough to quite push past that international level. But interesting to see how he goes as captain.
It's very interesting because I think there's two big things to consider here, like the top three and then the keeper, and because they're gonna have to play an international on the top three, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think they'll go bars. He's been kind of like a hitter, and I think he's done okay around the circuits. But in saying that, Litton Das he's been getting a lot of praise around the world. He's been like been Bangladesh's one of their best batters in recent years. But it's just whether if you're confusing formats a bit. Like I don't think he's as good in T20s as other ones.
I say what could happen is Venki bats up top with Jagadishan, because I
Yeah.
think he's not that bad either. And I think Shakib could bat at three. But
Yeah,
it depends on like because obviously Shakib is a very good batsman and he gives you 4 overs as well with the ball.
actually, yeah, Harsha didn't mention that, but I think that could be a
Like I think that's way better than having the other two.
because Gobars and
international-
Litton Das, neither of them have played much IPL,
And Shakib is actually a very quality player, batting
and he
wise.
kind of suits at number 3.
Yeah, exactly. Because Rana's a hitter, like realistically.
I was gonna say, look, that Bangladesh is actually playing right now. Litton Das scored 83 off 41, and Shakib scored 38 not out of 24 against Ireland. And Josh Little isn't playing, so he might have fitness problems right now.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
So
I just want to check Gobars because I swear he played last year, but I don't remember how he went. Okay,
I think
he didn't
just
play. Yeah, go on.
just moving on quickly. I think the next four, so Rana, Singh, Russell, and Narayan will all play.
Yeah,
I don't think that's really a debate.
yeah. Rinku Singh is another one of those. He's been around. I
Young
think he
gun.
had one of his better years in domestic cricket. Like, this could be a pivotal year for him. Russell and Narayan, not much to say. We know they're class, and they are getting to the end of their careers, but they haven't really slowed down. I'd say too much.
Yeah, every year they're like, oh, they're gonna break down. Russell's never taken his foot off the gas, and Ryan's still economical as always. So
Yeah.
I think you can rely on them playing.
And
And then
then,
the bottom four is even then they're pretty tight as well.
I mean,
think
you
it's
look at
just-
them and you think like they can be good easily. Like Taco, Umesh, Ferguson. I feel like that all three of them are like that. Are they going to bowl so well, or they're just going to get sent? Like
Yeah.
they all ball that same like length. That's just like so
Yeah.
cool, like Umesh and
Yeah.
Taco.
The problem is KKR play on roads. Eden Garden is such a
Yeah.
road.
That's what I was gonna bring up. I feel like this lineup at Eden Gardens just isn't good enough. Like they don't score
Yeah.
enough, and they don't bowl well enough.
Unless Russell repeats his 2019 effort, his
Yeah.
team is not
Yeah.
coming through.
Bro, Russell 2019, man.
Hardik Pandya versus Russell 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, that was a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
So,
last international option, Tim Southey versus Lockie Ferguson, you can almost toss a coin really, because I think Ferguson's known for his death bowling, but he also gets hit as well sometimes, and Southey's really improved.
Southey's
South-
actually good, yeah. Sorry.
So I don't know. I think you could easily that could be just a rotation realistically.
I was gonna say they've got rid of like a lot of players. Like they got Cummins, obviously he didn't want to play IPL this year. They traded Marvy, got rid of Billings, who was like their only keeper. Got rid of Finch, Hales quit, Nabi quit, and then a bunch of Indian bench players. So they really got a whole new kind of vibe to the team, and I think they have a new coach as well. So
Even then, I think they've done okay. They've passed, you'd say. Like it's nothing crazy, but they haven't. Considering the changes they've made, it's not
I
bad.
think it's improved, but it's not.
No Shreyas Iyer is like
Last
I'd
year they
say
came
worse. it's worse for this team than it is Rishabh Pant for Delhi, low key.
Yeah, except I is just not as good as Punt, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, because
Yeah.
Ayers on at Eden Gardens especially.
Yeah. And
Like
then sorry, yeah.
yeah, you need someone to bat through, and I think Rana is a duck or 80 player. Venki had one good
I
season.
can't see any of that top 5 who can get a big score. Like
Yeah,
even Shakib himself is like probably like a can hold it together.
he's like a 50-60 type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say Wisa, he's pretty much like identical to Russell. Like he's just their backup for Russell because Russell
Just a
does
shit.
break down every now and then.
Yeah, he's like a 3 out of 10 Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had a bit of research, yeah. And I don't know too much about the other Indian players. I think Roy is a like all rounder type. And then yeah, Mandeep Singh is another kind of mediocre. Maybe he might come in for Rinku every now and then.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
quickly, what do you want to say? I'm gonna say
it's an interesting one.
ninth.
I was gonna say ninth.
Yeah. We'll kind of power through.
I think it's either ninth or 10th realistically.
Yeah. I'm gonna say ninth for now. We don't.
Yeah, we can
Let's
always
not
come
put
back.
someone bottom. We'll just kind of see.
Yeah. All right. He's
Right,
after
next is
KK LSG, right?
Lucknow.
Or Lucknow. Yeah.
Lucknow
Okay.
Super Giants.
Okay. Here we go.
So the team
Okay.
of a friend of ours, Lucknow.
Ooh, very interesting.
I feel like
Hmm.
Lucknow have a similar kind of vibe to Chennai in the sense that they try to cover a lot of bases, a lot of all rounders here and there. But it's I'd say arguably it's better, and they got to the finals in their first year, and basically they've kept the same cohort. Only changed they got rid of Holder. Actually, they got rid of a few. They got rid of Holder, Pandey, and then Chamira and Lewis. Yeah, I don't think Chamira and Lewis even were that bad. So, but yeah,
Ooh, I'm just like trying to put them against the other teams. It's very hard to say. Okay, but let's just start. I think the top four are very good. Well, not very
very
good,
good.
but
But I think there's a huge,
sticky at the time.
huge spotlight on KL Rahul right
Oh,
now.
obviously, yeah.
It's just like
If this guy
people just
doesn't
don't.
score over,
I
if
feel
this
like
guy doesn't
everyone.
score,
Yeah,
yeah,
go.
go on, go on.
I was gonna say everyone in India has an opinion on KL Rahul. He's just that guy where it's like so easy to rip into him, and unfortunately, it's kind of true. Like IPL is where he gets his runs, but he needs to try and score them a bit quicker. Like it's just he said as well to the press that he doesn't care about his strike rate, but like you got to like to be fair, the cock Huda Puran take the stress off him because you know that they're going to play one way.
To be fair, if you think about it, this whole team is built around Cameron batting wise. Like everyone below him's a hitter.
Yeah, you are correct. So he actually doesn't really need to bat
He
quick.
doesn't need to go. He's kind of right.
He can hit 50 of 35, 40, that's fine.
Yeah. But I think if his strike rate is not above 140, he'll get rinsed.
Quinton de Kock just played like a brilliant innings against West Indies following that series.
Yeah.
Um,
But
and
the
then
clock always been class.
de Kock is just that pick up to the leg side, man.
Shikhar Dhawan-esque.
Yeah. And then
Huda,
I think he's okay. I'm not a huge fan of him, but I think at number 3 in the
number
IPL,
3, different.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. Puran, like I have a hate relationship with Puran. Not even love hate, man. That
He's
he
been okay
pissed me
recently,
off.
the last
Like
few games.
he's good. He's okay. But did you see Harsh's video? His international stats suck.
11. He's got a strike rate of like 110, and his
Yeah.
average is like 11 since
Like
2022.
when you're buying Puran in the IPL, you're buying the idea of Puran, not Puran himself.
It's like Maxwell. He's like
He's just
be a
Maxwell
Maxwell
without the
type.
career of Maxwell. Like he doesn't have like a World Cup
Okay.
stuff like that on his CV.
That's funny. It's actually a good description.
Yeah, he's got a.
Okay.
He bowled one time in Pakistan, had a few wickets. Keeps. I think they spent a lot of money on Paran. I think it was like, wasn't it like over 10 crore? I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something
Yeah, it
bad.
was close to 11 crore. No, it was 16 crore. You got 11 crore at Sunrisers, which people were like, "Well, you got 16 crore this year," and the fact that Sunrisers released him says enough. But I'll just check his numbers right now. Um,
Even
Average
then, like
38, a strike rate of 144. It's not even that bad. Probably what you'd expect him to get.
I swear he just faces one ball, hits a six, then gets out.
Yeah.
That's poor odds career in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But
I feel like he
Badoni's
could have
a
been. Yeah.
I say Badoni's up and coming as a good hitter at the end. I think he showed glimpses last season.
Yeah, I like him. I think decent. I think he bowls a little bit as well. Not a bad player for Indian batsman in your team.
Stoinis also very good. Krunal, or Stoinis last year in particular really showed that he wasn't just a good opening T20 batter, but he could also hit at the death, and that's what he did really well in the. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting my thing mixed up. So he did really well in the World Cup, right? And that at the
Yeah,
death, and that's what led him to be signed here by LSG to play the death role. And then he backed that up last
it was
season,
the other way
so
around.
that he had a
The World Cup was end of 2022. But yeah.
no. There's one in 2021 when he won
Oh
the
yeah,
game
that
against
one is.
Pakistan.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he's been
yeah,
consistent.
he's been
Like
consistent, and I think
T20s is
it's not going to
100% his
change.
best format. He's got to. He's probably going to be struggling mentally, as in thinking about that World Cup spot. But this is a good chance for him to just bat naturally with freedom. And I don't
Yeah,
know if he's going to bowl too much, but he did open the
I,
bowling for
I
Australia.
think he will bowl a lot.
Yeah, because Hood's not going
He
to bowl
he
much.
always bowls a lot in IPL.
The thing, in my opinion, Stoinis and Krunal especially, like they have a high ceiling. They have a very low floor. I feel like they can easily just be two bits and pieces. It's like he get smashed and just not be able to get going with the bat. Maybe not Stoinis, but Krunal just hasn't been as impressive as we know he can be. And they don't really have a replacement for Krunal. Maybe Christopher got them, but I don't think he's proper all rounder.
No,
And
go to the bowlers.
yeah, I was gonna say actually I want to talk about because Carl Mayers, Sams, and Shepard all similar roles to Stoinis. Mayers is probably a top order batter, but he's a good bowler. He's a very handy bowler. And then Sams, I don't know if he's been able to make the step at this level personally.
Yeah, I think Mares could easily slot in at three, Huda four, Peron five, dot dot dot. Sam's, I don't know. I think he's more of a bowling all rounder, but even then, I don't think he's done enough with his bowling to show that he could do well in the IPL because he played for Mumbai and got whacked. He's not the same bowler as he is in Big Bash. I know his Big Bash stats are very, very good, and he's done very, very well for us over the years, but IPL is just a different beast.
Yeah, and then Shepard was at Sunrises. I was gonna say I swear Harsha did not talk about Naveen Al Haq as an option.
He's just a rapid, quick, right?
He is kind of like for like because he was saying there's no one like for like for Wood, but Naveen
Yeah.
is decent enough. With the bowlers, first off, Moshin Khan will not be playing, and I think that's a big miss. I'm a big fan of him. He kind of broke out last year, and it's good to see a good left arm quick for India because they don't really have many. And he outbowled Avesh Khan as well last year. Um,
They have
obviously,
United on the bench, which is probably who they're gonna go with.
yeah.
But I think United isn't that great personally.
Yeah, in T20s at least, he's not really that level. Big fan of Wood. I think he's really improving. He's getting his body in shape, and he's just rapid. I think he's the quickest bowler in the world right now. I think.
Him or Ferguson, I presume.
And then I'm a huge fan of Bishnoi. I think he's India's best leggy still. And he's just kind of been cut off the Indian team. That might be weighing at the back of his mind, but spots are there for him if he performs.
I think the glaringly obvious thing is who bowls at death. I think Avish Khan will bowl. And then who else? Stoinis,
It's
maybe?
because Wood's best as an enforcer, right? And is
Yeah.
that
I
what you're
think Wood
going
will
at?
bowl middle overs.
I think they're gonna have to backload Wood and then maybe like use Cronulla or Stoinis as an opening type of bowler.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd probably be Stoinis. I reckon
Because if you
Stoinis will
have
maybe
Wood and
bowl.
Bishnoi in the middle, and then like I know, but you can't have a Nudcut there. A Nudcut swings the ball at the top. Maybe you squeeze Cronulla there and then backload everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, this is a very interesting team.
Because Avesh Khan does get smashed around a lot as well. Hasn't been as reliable as we first saw him. He
Yeah.
kind of had that one really good year, but he is pretty skillful and rated highly in Indian cricket.
So
And
the
then
big question, where would you put this team?
if we look
I
at,
think I think now looking back, we've been very pessimistic about some of the teams before.
do you think?
I don't
Because I was
know.
gonna say I still wait. Let me just one. I don't want to. We can always move it. I'm gonna still say, one fourth.
Fourth.
I still think they're good enough to make the finals. So I'm just counting other teams. See,
Oh mate, I've messed up.
or maybe fifth. Who do we have?
Okay, let me check. Okay, ninth, sixth, fourth, fifth.
I know. I don't. I think we overrated Delhi.
I don't think. Ooh,
Because for me, there's still three clear teams at the top. Man,
is there?
or at least two clear teams for me. Wait, because we've already put
I don't
Delhi
think.
fourth.
I don't think. I don't think we're thinking the same thing.
All right, should we start just doing our own then?
Yeah. Okay. What do you reckon?
All right, we want to kind of do
I
it.
think. Yeah. Let's do it all at the end. We'll just go through.
All right, let's do it at the end then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Because I'm starting to think that Delhi. I don't think Delhi are as good as you think they are. 'Cause I don't.
I also think Chennai are better than what we think they are.
Yeah, they could be, but I don't know.
I think Chennai at
But
home is
then I don't
different,
want
man.
to put Gujarat at like seventh. That just sounds disrespectful. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're a good team. Man,
I
this is
don't want to. I think we know what the top two teams will be.
think. All right, let's just go to the next one. Yeah, anything. I think that's everything we can say.
The benches.
They have a few all rounders. Like we
Yeah.
probably write off these players more because we don't know who they are. But like, yeah, like they could easily be good. But then we see older players like Amit Mishra. Maybe he might play here and there. We need two spinners, got them as well. And then yeah, we don't know too much about the others. All right, next. I feel like this team might split our opinions. Mumbai Indians they used to be the best. Used to be arguably the best T20 team ever a few years ago.
Yep.
They came 10th last year,
Yeah.
and they also have a huge hole in their team. The biggest hole ever any team, biggest hole in any cricket team, arguably in the world. The IPL merchant Jasprit Bumrah is not playing this year.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I was gonna say I feel like you might like this team because there's a bit of a young flair Australian player vibe in this team. Do you think they're good?
Nope.
Okay, good. I was gonna say I don't think.
They're gonna be so bad, bro.
Okay, okay, good.
I reckon they're gonna tank so bad.
Okay, because I thought you might have rated them, and I was like,
No,
worried.
no, no.
Okay,
This
good.
team is ass, dude.
But like, it doesn't feel like it should be bad, but it just like straight away we'll just dive straight into it. Rohit and Kishan, they're just not good. Like
Yep,
it just feels like they should be good, but they're not.
yep.
Rohit averages like 25 in the last 4 or 5 years of IPL. Kishan's not a 16, 18, whatever crore player he is. He's a hack.
Yeah,
He's got an ODI double hundred, but he's still a hack.
heck yeah. Okay, and then the green's the biggest one. So they put a lot of their money into green. So
Well, we had an argument at the time. You didn't think it was worth it, right? Straight
I
away.
didn't think it was worth the money. But
But
now think about it. If you think about it now, for a long-term gain and what he's brought to the table since, like it's so worth it.
you gotta remember, like, even though feels like the IPL is, in the now, these are big financial corporations. They're thinking about the future. That There's a lot of planning that goes into this. Cameron Green's going to be, they want him to be like the Dwayne Bravo of Mumbai, whatever. The new Kyron Pollard probably is a better example. Like he's going to be their guy, their all rounder for years, ideally. Um, for me, Sky should still bat at three because he's the best T20 batter in the world. Have him at three. That's where he can pop off. Tell him it's not an ODI. Tell him to survive one ball. And then, yeah.
I still think I think what I see on screen is good. I think Sky at 4 works because I think even though Sky is the best T20 player on the planet, he's still the most versatile and he can still go at 4. Like he's shown in the Indian team when he's
Yeah.
batted at 4, he can still go. Green can't bat anywhere but in the top 3.
Because I feel like this is making Green seem like a kind of Shane Watson type player. I don't know if he really is that yet. Like he's had one good series, but he still has long levers and he can hit at the end, surely. Or do you think he needs that little sighter kind of?
Well, he's like a nervous starter type, you know.
But that's more in like tests. I feel like yeah,
Well, it'd be interesting.
like you wouldn't
Interesting.
put Marsh at 5'6" anymore because like is he gonna be like Marsh? Is that what you think?
He could be, you know.
Yeah.
Because Sky could score 200 no matter what the innings is at any point. Green could probably, so could Green realistically,
If
but I
you had
think
to
he's
give
going to
a
be
team,
more effective at the top order.
I was gonna say if you had to give a team the title based on big names, this team would win.
Oh, easy, yeah.
Like they just all of them are big money, big name players. Like Tim David, he's just got everyone talking about Tim David in the last year of T20 cricket. And I'm a big fan of Tilak Varma. I think he's a
Yeah.
potential maybe even 3 format India player. That's how much I rate him. I think he's very good and just I like the way he goes about his business. And then we got the two South African equivalents in Brevis and Stubbs on the bench who, young kids play with that attacking mindset. Fitting them in the 11, very tough, I think.
I think Sky and Varma were the breakthroughs last year. I don't think David did too much, to be honest,
I think he
from
was
memory.
better. Like he flopped at RCB. I don't think he was that bad last year. But Mumbai, they were really bad overall.
Yeah. I don't know if, like, the obvious thing here, if we keep going down the list, I don't know much about Ramandeep Singh.
Yeah, that's the thing. So based on Harsh's 11, he had Ramandeep Singh and then Shokeen or was it Arshad Khan, who I know nothing about.
I know nothing about these three
I would say
players.
Surya Kumar only played 8 games last year. I don't remember him being injured, but yeah, only played 8 games and was their best batter. Because Kishan was top run scorer, but he struck at 120. Um, Interesting. So my boy has gone with the 2 international quicks, even with Bumrah, but no Bumrah. You feel like they have to, right?
Yep, 100%.
And it's not going to be Jai. It's going to be Berendorf. The Jai's injured.
Archer and Berendorf. That works because Archer can just bowl to death and
Yeah,
Berendorf can.
Berendorf swings up top.
Yep.
And then Kumar Kartikeya.
I don't know much about him.
Apparently, he's a slow left arm orthodox.
Well, they don't know if he's a wrist spinner or an orthodox.
All
Probably
right.
was both.
Maybe he's like a kind of mystery spinner. I mean, Harsha did not mention him. He talked about Piyush Chawla, who is like he's like that Amit Mishra type
Mid leggy. Yeah.
bowler. So a spinner's always been weak for Mumbai.
Yep.
Like in the last few years they haven't like they had Rahul Chahar, but then they got rid of him. And since then they haven't, to be fair, it's because they play on that, flat road of a quick highway at Mumbai. You don't really need to think about spin. Like the ball, like pace is good there. Like imagine you had Archer, Richardson, Bumrah. That would be tough. We've been robbed of it.
Yeah. It's be very interesting to see the makeup of the bowling attack because I think is Green gonna bowl 4 overs every game?
It's kind of
I don't
weird.
know.
'Cause I feel like they put their eggs into the future. Like they already got Brevis and Stubbs. Are they just going to sit on the bench for a couple of years and just hoping they turn into De Villiers without playing? Like,
I don't know. I think the super subs, but even then, you can't replace any of these guys. Like Green does 2 things. David's one of the best
well, I
finishers.
feel like I could imagine maybe David flopping a bit and then Brevis or Stubbs come in as a hitter because like the way they bat, they probably can bat at 6 anyway. Like Stubbs did that for South Africa.
But David's good as well. Like I don't know if he has a few bad innings, I guess. Then, but yeah, they play the same role.
Yeah,
You're swapping like for like. It's not crazy.
yeah. And they've
I don't
got a
know what
few
else to
other
say.
random Indian all-rounders that we don't know too much.
I don't know what to say about this team.
I heard they might consider playing Tendulkar, son of Sachin Tendulkar,
That's
which
that's
would be mad, but he's just been in their squad for like 4 years now.
yeah. So Shakeen's a spinner. So yeah, okay. They've interesting. All right.
Well, from Mumbai point of view, that if one of these young guys like Milani, Shakeen, Ramandeep, if one of them pops off, it could really help them and would take the pressure off the big name players. But I just feel like I can't just see Rohit suddenly turning around and he's good in the IPL now. You know what I mean? Like he just hasn't been like that for ages.
Yep. Oh, okay. So where are we putting them?
So I think they're 8th. I'm not gonna put them 10th.
So let me have a look into the other teams real quick.
Actually, yeah. Are we doing our own?
Oh, is that what we wanted to do?
Oh, Sean's messaged me like twice. Yeah, we'll do our own and then come back. Maybe circle back.
Oh my god, I think I know what team you put last, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I put them there. There. I think that they're just gonna be last now. I stopped rating them.
Okay. Okay, maybe
Alright,
we're thinking about different teams.
okay. Well, next we got my team,
Yep.
Punjab Kings. So I've always thought they're okay, decent team. Like they're better on paper than reality, but kind of feels like they're all over the place now. They sacked Mayank Agarwal and let him go as well. and which I don't fully agree with. I think he's better than Shikadawan. He's younger as well, obviously. And then they got rid of the other kind of Indian squad players, and they got rid of Odean Smith. They kind of played like this, we're just gonna hit no matter what, and sometimes it worked out. And they had a few games where they were like all up for 110, and I don't think that strategy will change much with this team. But yeah, and then they also have a pretty big loss in the form of Johnny Bairstow, who like broke his
Very big loss.
broke his like leg playing golf like 4 months ago. I think he's still out from that.
Yep. Oh, it's very. I think batting wise, probably the weakest team.
100%. Like they're just too unproven.
Weakest. And even your bench, like, there's no one there.
Straight away, I'd say Roger Paksa comes in for Bairstow.
Yep.
He's good, but he's just not like
He's not going to
basically
score you
made of-
big runs. He's like a hitter.
Yeah, like I think he had one innings where he got like 30 off 8 or something, 30 off 9. But yeah, he's not going to give you that long innings. And Shikhar Dhawan is probably their best batter, and he's not including Livingston, and he's just not as good as he used to be. So I think they'll do Prabh Simran opening, who's just had a really good year in domestic cricket. Yeah, he averaged 53 in the T20 comp, strike rate of 140, and then I think he's done well in other formats as well. So this could be a huge year for him. And Livingston. So we said that Puran is Maxwell without pedigree. Livingston's like Maxwell with some pedigree, but not really. Like, what do you think? Do you think Livingston is he that player that can just carry your side?
No.
That's what he needs to be.
No. I don't think so. I don't think Livingston is a Maxwell, for one. I don't think Livingston could get the consistency Maxwell has, playing innings he does, or that he showed in previous years.
Yeah, I just don't think Livingston has the gears to his game, and that's why,
Yeah,
for example, he hasn't been able to do well on ODIs because I don't think he has that ability to kind of change it up.
Yep. I agree.
And then, like, yeah, it's a lot on him. And they pay a lot of money as well. It's just so Punjab as well. They just keep having, speaking of a lot of money, like Sam Curran, isn't he the most paid player in the IPL ever?
Yeah.
And that's
He's
crazy.
very good though.
He is good,
very good.
Is he like for a player that good? You expect them to do everything. He is good.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's getting better as well. Like I think he was good in the World Cup. He's going to be big in the ODI World Cup. I don't mind it, but it just feels a bit weird because it's like you're excited. Like I'm excited, but we've already had him before as well. So it's like, what changed?
Yeah.
Like, and then
But I think his death bowling is like way better than it ever
swings
was.
a new ball. He's actually that
No,
ball
but his
isn't
death
that
bowling
bad.
is the bowling is very good, very good. You've got the best Indian T20 bowler right now in Ashdeep.
If we quickly cycle back though, Jitesh and Shah Rukh Khan. Jitesh, firstly, I'm a fan of him. He just got called up to the Indian T20 team earlier this year, so there are eyes on him, and he's had a good year in domestic. He's kind of like the intent merchant in the middle, but you feel bad because if he's gonna be coming in, in 7 or 8 overs most of the time. I feel like in a good team, he would pop off, but it's gonna be tough on him. And then Shah Rukh Khan hasn't really showed the money that he's worth, but yeah, he's another player that just comes in and hits.
Yeah, they're like bits and pieces hitters, like batting wise, bowling wise. I think they're very solid.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I think Livingston is probably going to play a big part with the ball as well. Realistically, he's going to have to bowl a few overs if
He
people get whacked.
spins it both ways. Like he's a
Yeah.
matchup type bowler.
I
And
think the bench, just looking at the bench, is just very, very poor. Like so I don't know any of the names really,
well,
apart from Raza and Ellis. You know what I mean?
for one, they didn't even bother having their like 8th international. And if you do that, you'd think that your team is too good, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like they had the most money going into the auction, and they just didn't even spend it too wisely. Like Curran was good, but 18.5 crore on him. I think yeah, Harpreet Brar, yes, standard Indian finger spinner all rounder. Rahul Chahar is good, but he hasn't been able to get to that next level yet. And Ellis is very good, I think. I think Ellis is a good backup for Rabada. I think Rabada will miss the first few games.
Hmm.
But we haven't seen too much of Ellis in the highest level.
But I think he's got the skills to do well here.
Yeah, I agree. Sikandar Raza as well. Shout out to him to get into the IPL after all these years of being the hero for Zimbabwe. He might play maybe for Rajapaksa, but I don't know if he'd bat at the top. Then you might have to put Livingston at the top. Yeah,
No, I don't think you can. Oh,
I think
maybe.
maybe Raza might be a good sub option actually.
I think yeah.
Actually, he could be great because his bowling is pretty good. Like if you bring him in for Bairstow, well, not Bairstow for like Rajapaksa,
Yeah, he's the one that's likely to go.
then you just have that spinner, and you have
And
because
then
he'd
everyone
be
else
their
moves
best
up.
spinner.
Yeah.
Raza would be their best spinner probably.
I could imagine him just starting as well. Move everyone up one and then chuck Raza in at 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's good. He kind of underperformed in the World Cup, but he's had a good run of form recently. Yeah, the other Indian players don't know too much about. Rishi Dhawan, another like just an average,
He's not that great though. Yeah.
and yeah, a bunch of other players who, yeah, we don't know them, but they could be good, promising players. But overall, just to feel like they're
Mid
lacking,
team.
and that's why for me they're 10th. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's my own team, but
Yeah.
if I just set my expectations that low, then I can't be disappointed. So
Yeah. Bro, your team is definitely lost.
like I used to always put them in top 4, and they'd either lose 6 in a row, or like win 6 in a row. Like they, yeah, just I'm putting them last.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Um, I feel like
RCB.
we haven't been talking too much about the pitches, but for this team, I think the pitches will be of note. RCB, is this RCB's year, Ryan?
I think we've got a very good chance of doing well this year. That's what I'll say. Would it tell you? Hmm.
I agree. I agree. But realistically, nothing has changed for them since
That
last.
team's exactly the same.
It's
Literally
identical.
exactly
You got rid of
identical.
3 Indian players who I don't know, and then Chopin Rutherford, who, yeah, West Indian.
But he never started anyway. So
We may as well, yeah, that lineup. Yeah, though, one big miss. Rajat Patidar will miss some of the
yeah.
games. So, and like he was going really well, and also he's been doing really well in domestic cricket. And like in Harsh's video, I heard him say that Kohli really rates him, and like he's a
Oh,
good
he's
guy
very good.
in the
He's
dressing
very
room,
good.
probably. And him not being there is actually kind of big because they don't have a great deal of batting strength on the bench.
I think it'll be Coley at 3, Rawat at up
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, because it's like if you don't know if someone's good, just chuck them at the top, hope that they can get to a flyer, whatever.
Yeah.
Other players, yeah. Faf, Coley, Maxwell, you've got class there. You've got pedigree there. Whether you have the consistency that they used to have is the question. But you can kind of think that at least one of them will play well each game, I guess.
Yep. Maybe not Coley, but yeah. Nah, Coley's good.
Well, yeah, because the concern for me is like it's the first 10 overs. Like you don't want Coley or Faf to just be too conservative.
Faf won't be conservative though. You have to be
Yeah.
worried about Coley.
Yeah. Well, it's Coley like if he gets to 40 and 30, Coley and gets out, it's like shit. But if he
To
plays
be
50 balls, you know he's going to be in like 70.
yeah. It's gonna be 80 plus, yeah.
Like 50 to 60, he'll get between like 70 and 100 probably. Like he's at the end, he's probably like one of the best death hitters in the world still, Coley, even though he's like a top order batter.
Oh yeah, when he goes, he's but he's not a six hitter. That's the difference.
Only against pace.
Yeah.
Actually, this is kind of random. But I was gonna send you like these videos of Coley's hitting these sixes. I was like, how do you even do that? Like,
Oh, in 2016, some of the sixes here are outrageous.
yeah, I was watching that, like him at the death, like in ODIs, where he just comes down the track and flicks it over mid on. Like, how do you do that? Like, I don't,
It's just,
because he like
that's what I'm
pre,
saying, bro.
like the
He's
way he
like,
just that animation that he does. You know what I'm talking about? He just comes down and just bang. Like,
yeah, that's why
I
he's
was
one of
gonna
the
ask you, like,
goats.
can we practice that, man? Like, how do you?
Bro, it's
Anyway,
like having an amazing eye and then premeditating a bit
yeah.
as well.
Anyway, they're in saying that, yeah, they're good, but Lomro, Kartik, Shabazz is kind of meh-ish.
Yeah, I'd agree. Meh-ish. Like, honest, we could have maybe one good game in four
Yeah.
with that lineup.
Like, DK is interesting for me because he's good, but then it's like he finally got back in the Indian team and didn't do much. And now he's like commentating and stuff. It's like, where is his head at? Like, I wonder where his head is at.
He's a beast though. I won't lie. His death
But yeah, like
hitting is
prime
different.
Karthik is just like he's a good guy and he plays that role.
Okay.
Yeah, Shabazz standard, stock standard Indian finger spinner all rounder. I feel like there's like
Yeah.
hundreds of these guys. They just
Akshay Patel, Jadeja type, but like three times worse.
yeah.
But yeah,
And then yeah,
has
those four bowlers they're
great.
good. I think they're pretty good for IPL.
Yep.
I don't think we don't.
Hazelwood and Harshal will bowl at the death. Siraj will bowl.
Well, Siraj can bowl it out. Like they can all. Hazelwood's got the complete game now. Siraj getting into his
Pasterova controls the middle. We have Maxwell who could bowl a few. Shabazz can obviously bowl a few. Lomaro could bowl a few. Worst case, like we're chilling.
yeah. So when I said I'll talk about the pitches, yeah, so I think Harsha you mentioned this. I don't know, you saw that right. Like RCB haven't done well at Chinaswamy. Like they started winning again because they played in UAE. I don't know if there's a direct correlation, but at that stadium, it's like you got to bowl well to death. There's been so many times where it's been like Siraj, Umesh Yadav, Navdeep Saini just get completely tonked. And now it's Harshal Patel. Did he play? Has he played for them in Bangalore?
No, no.
That's going to be a huge, huge test for him because he's been so reliable for them.
Hazelwood.
I think he's overrated still, but in the IPL he's good. Like overall, he's slightly overrated, but that's going
Yeah,
to be a huge test for him.
we've got Hazelwood though, and Siraj is a way better bowler than back in the day.
But it's also like you got to score quick enough because you know it's going to be high scoring games there.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Topley and Whitley as well on the bench, but they won't play. Our internationals are so strong.
Oh, Topley, yeah, probably not. I mean Hazelwood if he's not fully fit yet,
Yeah,
and
but
then
I think
yeah.
but I think he's okay. I think he'll play.
They brought Bracewell in for Jacks. Like Bracewell's a solid white ball player, but I don't think he should play.
Just cover for Maxwell, isn't it? But Maxwell's fit. So
And they've got a few other random Indian quicks, and I think Rawat did play right last year, and Prabhu.
yeah,
So Khan Sharma is a leggy. He's an extra spinner option for them and slower
yeah,
pitches.
but we have Maxwell and Shabazz anyway.
Yeah, true. Actually, Maxwell Shabazz, that's right. Yeah, that's easy. Lomro as well, bowls.
Yeah, our team is very well
I think
balanced.
100% RCB is not a team that will think about the sub much.
No, I think we're consistently going to do well.
Yeah, maybe if it's like a green top, you bring Willie in for Maxwell or something. I don't know.
No, I don't think this will be our team the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And then worst case, I think if it's a green top, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there'll be ever a case where you can justify taking out Maxwell.
I meant like as a sub, like after batting.
Or maybe, yeah. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. We need to check the rules on that, but yeah.
I mean, like in the second, yeah, he should be able to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because I feel like all the teams are good, like close-ish, but I don't know. It's hard to say if they're the best. Like, where do you have them? Like, we'll circle back, but
Top four.
okay, we'll keep that anonymous for now.
Yeah, but I will say top four.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there's one team that's clear, and then
Oh yeah. For a second I had a blank, but yeah, they're 100% clear.
second to four is yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're in the team right now. It's clear.
Oh no, we actually skipped Rajasthan accidentally.
Oh,
Alphabetically.
yeah, that's okay. Well, we clearly have different opinions.
No, man, I just realized we skipped Rajasthan alphabetically. So yeah, we'll go to Rajasthan.
Yeah.
So for you, Rajasthan are clear best.
Yep.
Okay, for me it's Sunrisers, but okay. Start off with Rajasthan. From a pure like player role point of view, batters bat, bowlers bowl. That's all this team is, and for the most part, that's fine. And when they're going well, that's fine. And yeah, looking at that team, they haven't changed anything from last year, except now they got Jason Holder in.
Yep.
They did get rid of quite a few internationals, but none of them really did much. Colton Alnishan, Vanderdusen and Mitchell, and Corbin Bosch, who I don't remember at all.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't even know who it is. I don't know who Donovan Ferreira is. I think he's South African. Anyway, yeah. So for you, that top three, one of the best in the comp.
Yep. Easily. Butler by himself.
Yeah, Butler by himself. Yeah, best. Arguably T20 goat, I'd say. I think
arguably. Yeah.
like I think he's reaching those Gale levels, but he's more consistent if anything.
Yeah, he's better than Gale.
Yeah, like especially if you look at him opening alone, like it's like they wasted him for a long time, but since he's been opening, he's so good. And he can play any role nowadays as well. He's not even just that one type of player. And we mention it like every single year. But Sanju Samson, if this was his year, he needs it to be his year.
The thing is that Samson will score. He probably will score 100 this year, but then he will score nothing in between that. He'll just score a bunch of like really solid 20s and 30s.
I really wonder what, like, say a Samson or a Bishnoi, or like, how do they think about the IPL? Like, are they just, especially because Samson's a captain as well, like, are they thinking about the IPL, or is it like, I'm in the limelight here, I can get my India cap? But at the same time, they make so much money. I don't know if they actually do care that much about internationals. Like, they do
want to.
You know what I mean?
Would, yeah.
I think they would, but it's like IPL in itself is still a pretty big deal. But yeah, Samson 100% there's an India spot in the taking from in T20s and ODIs whilst Shreyas is injured. Padikkal, I don't remember much about Padikkal and Jaiswal who was better. Like, because they made the final, but
They're very similar players.
yeah. Okay, Padikkal did not do well last year. Jaiswal was okay, but he didn't got dropped or he was injured. I don't remember. And then I really like Hetmeyer actually. Like there was a period where he wasn't that good, but I think he's really kind of like had a David Miller effect. Like you keep him there at the bottom, he's just really good at hitting. And then your boy Rian Parag. Do you think anything will change with Parag this year, or just the same
To
old?
be fair, he hasn't really been needed that much, I'd say. But
Yeah,
I think as a hitter, he's shown promise. But we've been saying that for like 2 years.
I
But
feel bad for him because I don't think he's a number 6 player, but he's kind of just been stuck there.
yeah, I agree. I don't know.
I reckon it makes sense for them to have it like if you want to get more of Adam, you drop Parakal and then put a different player at number 6. But I don't know who's good enough on their bench to do that.
No, no one really.
Yeah. And then they've tried to address that kind of bridging role with Jason Holder.
It's like a band-aid fix.
Yeah. Because Holder is another one who has like the idea of him is better. And I think Holder benefits the longer the game is as well. And like as in he's more of a test ODI player. T20s, like, yeah, he doesn't have the same consistency. But it's a lot better than having Ashwin just at 7. So it is a fix for now.
Bowling's definitely weak for them, no doubt about it. But having said that,
It's not that weak though, because Ashwin and Chahal is a good bank, and then Bolt.
yeah, it's not that weak, but that's why I'm saying I think they're clear because their bench is so strong.
Yeah, because even though so Prasid Krishna is not playing, and at first I was like, well, like that's a shame because he hits the deck and he's quick. But Kuldeep Sen and Navdeep Saini pretty much offer the same.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And then
Um, I really
Zampa on
want
the
Saini to
bench.
do what Saini needs to. Yeah, Kuldeep Sen played a lot last year, but I feel like Saini hasn't really reached the heights that many would have thought. And yeah, they got Adam Zampa on the bench actually. He might be a really handy player with the sub rule.
Yeah, they just take out Hodel and then just put in Zampa.
Well, even like headline, like I reckon it is
Or
like
Helen.
you can do that.
And same with Joe Root. Like I could easily see him doing a Williamson thing and then swapping in for Hetmeyer or Holder easily if they need another batter.
Actually, surely, it, yeah, if you can just do it, so you have overseas bats the first innings, and then second innings you get an overseas bowler into him back.
Surely.
Because for the Indian players, it's like if you're good enough, you would already be starting. So then you just got to use it to milk your internationals in, and
Yeah, we'll see how
that's
it
so,
gets used.
and that's so OP because you're using Hetmeyer and Zampa in one player, like noisy 11 vibes, literally, literally noisy 11 against us.
You're not wrong. That's the funniest thing. Yeah. But like I think this team is so clear. It's not funny. Like, how can you not like the bench is strong, their batting is strong, their bowling is the weakest part, but you have Ashwin, Chahal, and Bolt.
I might change my order then a little bit, but like we'll go over it again quickly at the end.
Let's move on to Sunrisers.
I think so. This is the last one, yeah. It's actually funny how we worked out with the 3 best teams, the last 3.
Oh, that's controversial.
Sunrisers for me are so clear. Not so like they're just really good.
Yeah.
Like that's really, really good. Um I think they've covered everything. Firstly, Abhishek and Agarwal, I think that's going to be a really good duo. I think they're both underrated cricketers. Abhishek hasn't, like, he's been around, haven't seen him a lot, but he's actually improving a lot in domestic and he's becoming more of a hitter. And his bowling is getting better as well. Um, that top three, like an Indian top three, I don't think there's any other team that has as strong as an Indian top three as that. And they're all like kind of intent players.
Yeah.
Like I don't like
Abhishek, not so much,
how
I
would you
think.
floor that? Yeah, maybe Abhishek will anchor a bit more. I don't see how you can floor that top three. From it's kind of like a, even though like two of them play for India, but it's like they don't have that kind of pressure on them because they don't play for India much.
Yeah.
Like people don't expect them to be really good, but they can be. Um, and what do you think? So Markram, he just got announced as the captain of this team. What do you think of that?
He's a good player. I think he's a good captain as well. He's the captain of the South African version, right? Of the Sunrisers.
Yeah, yeah. He just won it as well.
And yeah, and he was I think Harsha was saying he was the under 19s captain as well. So he's got experience. So
I think his finally thing is his heights and white ball cricket. He's always had that talent.
even in test matches, he's starting to show that he's good.
Yeah, he got against West Indies.
Yeah.
Then we have probably we'll skip one. We'll go to the next one. Like the most informed young all format batter in the world, Harry Brook. There's going to be a lot of pressure on him. I feel like a lot of people are talking about him, and even though he got this deal before he had that mad run in tests, it's just assumed that he's a good T20 player with Harry Brook.
Hmm.
What do you think of him?
Very good. But it's just hard to see how franchise cricket will change him. You know what I mean? Because if you're so used to the England setup and how you play there, I guess the whole idea is you play with freedom in England setup, so it should be you could easily transfer it to playing IPL where you play the same way. But it's franchise cricket and there's a lot of money on the line, and you're playing with players that you never really played with before. So he's gonna be in the spotlight. Gonna be a lot of pressure. Gonna be hard. It's interesting to see what he does with it. But I don't think he'll be the same player as everyone. I don't think he'll live up to expectation. I think he'll be very, very average.
Well, if he is, they got Heinrich Klaassen. Like I think those 7 of those options in 6 positions, that's really, really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say like everyone sleeps with Glenn Phillips, but he was easily one of the best players in the last World Cup, T20
I
World Cup.
skipped Phillips, but yeah, he's really good. He's a
Very good player.
keeper batter, but he even bowls handy off spin if you need him.
Yeah, and you
Um,
have Abdul Samad as well on the bench.
yeah. I think I've said this before, but I have a lot of stocks in Abdul Samad. I think the type of player he is just really good. Like he just comes in at 6 hits. If he improves his leg spin, he can be such a handy player. It's a bit unfortunate in the type of team he's in because they've got a lot of stacked middle order players.
Well,
But
it could be the case where I don't know whether they'd ever drop Tripathi or Abhishek and put Tripathi up top, but like Marco could bat three, Phillips four, Brook five, and then Abdul Samad at six.
or you could do some mud for one of the overseas and then play an Akil on a slow surface or a Janssen.
Yeah, but if you look at the internationals, they're class.
For me, Janssen should start over Adil Rashid. Um,
I think spin wise,
Actually, I don't know
it's
because
more
they have
balanced
no
too.
bowler
Yeah,
in the top 6 because like Abhishek and Phillips and Markram, they're not gonna, or they could squeeze them in somehow. Like
Markham
South
will
Africa
bowl
open the
some.
bowling with Markram sometimes just to get it overs
Yeah, that'll be all right.
because Bhuvaneshwar. I think Bhuvaneshwar, Umar Malik, Natarajan, like their top three actually, pretty much like their top three. They're not prime India players, any like Bhuvi not anymore, but they're still like that means there's kind of less pressure on them, but they're still good. You know what I mean? Well, I say
Yeah,
less pressure, but Umran Malik has a lot of eyes on him at the moment. He's quickest bowler in India. Natarajan had that 1 year, hasn't done a lot since. But okay, let's say they don't do well. They have Tiagi on the bench who's quick. They have like a Janssen to come in as well. I just think they have all bases covered this team.
Yep. Agreed.
And then Washington Sundar, yeah, we said it for like the 20th time, another Indian finger spinner all rounder, but I think he is one of the better ones. And I really want him to be playing for India more often.
His hitting abilities gone clear as well. He's a bit like Akshay Patel.
Yeah, he got it very clean hitting.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
this team though is want to be one that might want to use that sub rule, just because they have such class on the bench. Because Hussain or Adil Rashid, if it's a spinning track, Janssen, if you need extra quick, or Faruqi. And I don't know if there's a situation where you want another batter in the formal class, but probably not. But yeah,
I could easily see Klaassen coming on for Rashid and then Markram taking on more overs or something
maybe.
if they're chasing a big score.
Yeah. And then you bat pretty deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably going to be if you save Malik for the middle and the Trajan for the death, movie for the top, then Washington can bowl in the power play as well.
Yeah, you're fine this week.
So it's actually, you can't really squeeze Markham overs at the top, but yeah, I can think of it somehow. Right, this has been a long video, but we move. Should we just straight up just write down each other's team table
Yeah. Do you want to
on your thing?
just do? You want to do
You wanna
bottom
do
up?
1 1 2 2 3 3 like that, or
You
just
want
one?
to do 8 8 8 8 7 7 6 6 5 5 4 4.
Okay, yeah. So 10, I have Punjab.
Yep. So
I just type it out so then we can see it. Yeah.
margin. Oh shit. No, this won't work.
Right, you can do it as maybe insert a table, like a literal table.
Sorry.
Okay, easy.
Okay.
Yes,
Punjab.
both have Punjab. I
Yep.
still put KKR in mine.
Yep. So did I.
Yep.
I think we've probably got 8 the same as well.
Yeah, Mumbai 8.
Yep. Imagine it's the same.
This is
Okay.
this is so hard.
Okay. Then I've got Gujarat.
I got Gujarat as well. It feels unfair to them, but yeah.
Then I've got LSG.
I got Chennai,
Okay, interesting.
and then Delhi,
Yep. Same.
and I got LSG. So it's just one swap so far, right?
I have Sunrisers.
Oh, okay, you got Chennai that high.
Yeah.
I got RCB 3,
Okay. Yeah. Same.
and Rajasthan I have second. Yeah.
Damn. Interesting. I think our opinions aren't that dissimilar, except I've obviously ranked CSK a lot higher than you.
And I'm just
And
Lucknow a lot higher. And I read
not
it.
really. Sunrisers and Lucknow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between second and first doesn't really matter. Like we both pretty much view are the same. It's just CSK. CSK second. Wow. So based on that, I assume you pretty much have Chennai winning then, because like in that situation, Dhoni's got the experience and
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Who wins in yours? That's an interesting question.
SRH is good, but it's like a young team. Kohli and Kohli slash Faf RCB never won. Rajasthan, yeah. It's hard to say with knockout cricket, but yeah, who do you have winning? Or should we? Yeah, we don't need to predict like eliminate or whatever. Just say who you think is gonna win out of your four.
CSK.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that was pretty obvious.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. I mean, out of those four left, they're the winner team. I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. I'll go Sunrisers.
I'd say Rajasthan personally.
I've had years previously. I remember like one year I said they suck, and they ended up making finals. And the next time I said they were really good, and they didn't make finals. But now I'm saying they're gonna win. Um, we've already gone for a while, but I feel like we kind of skipped over what we think about individual. Oh, we did say what we think, but like who we think will perform. You
You want
want
to just do it overall in terms of
to do like MVP and then like the what purple orange cap, maybe breakout player as well.
okay,
It
so we'll
doesn't have to
do
be like the literal winner of the breakout player. Just
MVP,
yeah,
most improved / standout, orange,
yeah.
purple.
Purple.
Okay, MVP. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Well, if you, yeah, you go first. This is actually tough. So it doesn't have MVP doesn't necessarily have to be from the best team. I think it usually isn't. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll go Pandya as well.
I think you just
He
screamed
just got
Hardik
that
Pandya,
dog in
dude.
him, literally, man.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Rashid
literally.
Khan just because I had the RSG so high, but then at the same time, I actually kind of think Rashid is not as like phenomenal as he used to be. So I
Hardik is different, dude.
stick with Pandya, man. He's just yeah,
Goated in all three forms. But
yeah, all three.
okay. Do you want to do orange and purple first?
Yeah, yeah. We'll just rapid fire. Orange. Wait, rapid fire. Man, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Fuck.
It's gonna be someone in the top four. You're
I
picking.
Josh Butler. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like these are two like meta answers, but yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think it's gonna be an RCB player personally.
Yeah, I was
It's
thinking that. I was
it's Coley or Faf.
if
So
Coley gets like I don't really care about individual achievements, but that'd be pretty cool if Coley pops off. Yeah, because I feel like SRH are gonna be like I have them winning. I think they're not gonna have like one player who carries. It's just gonna be like shared runs between that top six.
yeah, I agree. They don't have any out and out run scorer except Agawal really.
Purple cap. Hmm. All right, I got my purple cap.
Oh, it's gonna be someone in the top four, doesn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah, they're counted after finals. I'm gonna go Mark Wood. I think he's just gonna get polls.
Ooh, that is interesting. Okay, ignoring top four, I would have said Sam Curran.
Oh, I'd take that. That's a trophy.
But he's not in my top four, so I can't really give that.
I was thinking Chahal again, but it's just like, is he that? It's like pretty hard to have back to back awesome years.
It could be Hasaranga, you know.
Yeah,
I'm really backing my team.
Asaranga and Faf, and the team still chokes.
Uh,
Most
okay.
improved. So standout. So maybe like someone who just took it up a notch. I'm gonna say Washington Sundar. I think even though he's already a proven player, I think he'll like be very good. And like he's already played for India, that's not, but I think he'll be considered like, Jadeja level. Like not overall, but like, in T20 type. It's hard to say. I just said Jadeja level, but you know what I mean. I don't literally think he's that good, but yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think he's in under the radar. I think he's like he's a class player. I think he's gonna come through.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think he's right now. He's like you love him or you hate him type,
Yeah.
or like you don't fully rate him.
Yeah, I don't. Not at the moment, but I think he's got potential.
Yeah,
Oh, that's interesting. Flop. Let's do
I mean,
flop.
if we, we'll say flop. We'll say. I was gonna say, should we say young player? But I feel like we just don't know enough.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we won't say young player, but it's always cool to see these Indian players just come out of nowhere in the IPL. I feel like it happens more so than Big Bash. It's like Big Bash is usually the best players are good already. Not always, but yeah. Sometimes you get like a random Paddy Dooley. Flop. So let's say flop has to be like someone who's like got high expectations.
Do you want to go first?
I'm gonna say Ben Stokes.
Ooh. Okay, that's a good shout.
Good shout, except I feel like you need Stokes to be good if you have Chennai winning. Yeah, that's pretty good answer. It's sad though, because I feel like he could easily just be meh. Like
Yeah.
he could easily just be bang average Doctor, which is sad.
He's such a good bowler, but yeah.
Actually, that's a good answer.
So,
The other obvious kind of is like Livingston, you'd say.
oh yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think we probably should wrap it up. It's been a long one.
Yeah. It's been
We'll
like
probably talk about
an
all the
hour and a
games.
half video or 2 hour video.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our IPL ideas. We're probably going to get it completely wrong when we look back at it.
Yep. But
Yeah.
I think we overall have done decent analysis on every team. So, but I generally think from what we've seen preseason, this is likely what it's going to be. But obviously, especially with the new rules, anything could happen.
Yeah.
And it'd be very interesting to see how the bench works in the starting 11s because every team, like you always see in previous seasons, like the team chasing normally wins. So,
And I think
yeah.
going back to the Indian stadiums, I think there genuinely will be like, you feel like you're playing in completely different conditions in almost every game.
Yep.
Like nowadays, it just feels like Indian pitches, they have the great ability to just produce whatever they want in white ball cricket. So there could be some very fast bowling, heavy or batting or whatever, spinning. So yeah, that could easily impact as well the game.
Yep. We'll see what's on Friday. So it's 2 days.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.